I grow up, I really need to glow up right now, especially in 2022. There are a lot of changes happening in my life, and in 2022 we need to really just embrace the change. So I am moving because there's a lot going on in my apartment. I am getting married this year because my boyfriend of 6 years proposed to me. We are getting married this year, but the goal is to embrace the best part of myself this year, physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Today's outfit of the day are my online leggings and Megan Batoon's Not Asking for Feedback sweater, and her little tag says, "Don't sweat the small stuff." So physically, I don't really brush my hair. I probably brush it once or twice a week. So I am trying to really take care of my hair this year and give it all the love it deserves. I also usually only wear earrings on special occasions, but we are just trying to make ourselves feel our very best this season. I was going to go on a run, and then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna take it easy today and just take a nice brisk walk. You can hear all of the birds chirping in the morning, but this is just a way to really get my body moving throughout the day before I also sit and get a lot of work done. For lunch today, I'm going to make a brown rice and spicy tuna bowl with some seaweed. I already heat up my brown rice, and it has some beans in it for extra protein. Starting to go to a new church after going to my church for about 11 years. So that's a lot of changes. The only thing that isn't changing is my career choice. And that's also something that I've thought about of would I do YouTube full time. As of right now, I feel like I'm okay teaching and being a YouTuber and just having my personal and professional life, but I don't know what the future holds. So I take my rice bowl mixture, put it on the seaweed, and we just roll it up. I feel like Korean tuna hits a little different. I think it tastes better. It just has more flavor and less of a fishy taste. So after my lunch today, I'm going to make this smoothie that I had while I was in Texas from a smoothie shop called Juiceland, and it was delicious. For my smoothie today, we're going to need the dragon fruit smoothie packs or just dragon fruit cubes, some mango chunks, some frozen bananas, and some pineapple juice. I know not everyone might have 2 blenders, so what you can do is just pour one into a cup, wash the blender, and then add the second smoothie. This is probably one of the best smoothies I've ever made. This is delicious. I love it. But also because it's Juiceland's recipe and they make really good smoothies too. I could drink this all day. So good. So another way I'm trying to glow up this season and this year is to make sure I take care of my posture and to have good body mechanics. So for example, when you squat down to pick something up, we really want to squat down and not bend over at our back. All of that constant straining is actually going to contribute to the wear and tear of our bodies as we get older. So we want to make sure that we have good habits when it comes to our posture and how we move our body. Also, new year, new suitcase. I bought a giant away bag luggage for any flights where you want to check in a luggage because I don't have anything this big. I don't know where I'm going, but it's huge. My fiance dropped off this Orobe milk tea for me. It's in Orange County in California, and people wait like an hour long to have this milk tea. So I just stuck in my reusable straw in here, and it is fantastic. So delicious. I usually don't even like milk tea. This one's good. It's called the Rising Phoenix Oolong Tea. But if I drink too much, I can't sleep at night. So in terms of glowing up physically, I also got a haircut. I just have this giant clip in my hair, but it is a super layered look. I love layers because they grow out really nicely. So when you want long hair, it's nice to have some layers up in here. Clip it back up right now. Call this like my ajumma hair, which is like older lady in Korean. Not older lady, like an auntie. So going back to glowing up my mentality, reading books is so important. And I know even in school we were told that, but if we really want to challenge and change ourselves, we need to be reading books. So I got 2 new books that I'm going to read, hopefully within the next 3 months. One on marriage and then one on suffering. I hope one doesn't lead into the other. Okay, so I am getting married this year, and they say statistically that the divorce rate is about 50% or more. With that, I think preparation is really important. And of course, reading is one thing and living it out is another. But my fiance and I want to make sure we do everything we can to really prepare our hearts for this Christ-centered marriage that we've been praying for so long. Also, if we were told that the crash rate in cars was 50%, it's not. But if it was, we probably would, you know, wear a helmet and just really be careful. And yet when it comes to marriage, it seems like society has just told us like this is something that you do. So you just jump into it without really preparing a lot. So I want to make sure we get through this entire book by Paul David Tripp. Next is On Suffering, also by Paul David Tripp. I love his books, and he is a pastor and a counselor. I feel like the topic of suffering we never read about enough because life is hard. We go through hard things, and it's not a matter of if we go through hard things, but it's when we go through hard things, especially because a lot of people blame God for it. So this one is Gospel Hope When Life Doesn't Make Sense. Gospel commitments every couple needs to make. So let's talk emotions. Emotionally, especially as a woman, we get this rap of being emotional. Now, having emotions is not a bad thing, and we usually equate anger and sadness or jealousy as bad feelings. But at the end of the day, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But what we really need to practice is understanding why are we feeling that way. So I always ask myself, why am I feeling this way right now? And I try to verbally talk it out with myself, which is a really sometimes uncomfortable practice, and I just want to ignore it and say, well, this is how I feel and that's it. But we're not really going to change if that's the mindset that we have. For example, sometimes I think when we see someone else succeed, we start to feel a little inferior and we feel like, oh, I wish I had that, or I wish I was doing as well as them. And so I always ask myself, why am I feeling that way? Just because they succeed doesn't mean that I don't. And when I really sit and ask myself, it's because I know I work really hard. So I wonder, you know, am I not enough? So at the end of the day, it's feeling like I'm not enough. So if that's where I'm at, then I need to work on understanding where my worth comes from. So if I'm feeling jealous or I want something that someone else has and it makes me feel bad, it's because I'm insecure and I feel like I'm not enough. So then we go back to, where's your worth? So emotionally, I just always ask myself, why? And have those hard conversations with myself, because we're not perfect. No one's perfect. And you know, we're all created to have feelings, to have emotions, and it's channeling that. And also our past trauma also, of course, affects it too. So in terms of spiritually, my faith is a really big part of my life, and I acknowledge that a lot of people don't believe what I believe, but I also think there is a few misconceptions about Christianity, and some of the meanest comments I've ever received were actually from Christians as well. But I think with that, it's just a reminder we are not perfect. No one is. No Christian should ever claim that they've got it all figured out, because we don't. This is just a reminder, everyone, that there is no shaming that needs to happen with anybody. Just loving everybody the way Christ loves us. So I find that scheduling in the morning at the same exact time helps me read the Bible. And I do have a video on how to read the Bible, and this is the way that I still read it today, even though I made that video probably 3 years ago. That has not changed. But But for the month of January, I always like to read Proverbs because it has 31 chapters, and so I just read one chapter every single day. But you could really do that for any month that has 31 days. I just love that you're able to start and finish it in a month perfectly. I also took down all of my wall decor because I am moving, so I got a head start on clearing my space and decluttering. Decluttering was something that was on my list for quite some time, so we're going to just really reset this year and get things going. Thank you for joining me on my glow up routine, and just remember, you are beautiful just the way you are, but we can also always seek change and growth in our lives. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Don't be a stranger. Bye.